As a therapist, one of the things I notice, I get the same questions over and over again. And this is what I'm doing for my clinic. I am doing a lot of what we call educational marketing in order to be able to attract the right patients to my clinic. So I'm going to share with you my process. My name is Wong. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And over 10 years, I started my therapy clinic. And over 5 years ago, I started Hand Therapy Secrets to share what I know from a clinical standpoint and also from a business standpoint. So in my clinic, I've been running YouTube videos for the last 8 years, but I have been getting more serious about it in the last, I want to say, 2 years. Been really consistently putting out one video a week. And one of the things that I do is I'm looking at the questions that people are telling me, and then I am creating some videos around it. So let me share with you one of my most recent ideas. So maybe it could help you somehow with with what you're doing for your clinic. Now, as a certified hand therapist, as a OT, I do pretty much everything related to hand therapy. But recently, and this is where I think you have to kind of pull from your life. People are looking at you when you're a therapy clinic owner. Like, what are you seeing currently in your life that you can use to help those around you? So, for example, my in-laws, we recently moved them into a skilled nursing facility. No, I'm sorry, didn't move them into a skilled nursing facility. We moved them into an assisted living facility, but they're like two stone throw away from being in a freaking nursing home, right? Now, my parents are also getting older, and my dad recently was saying how his knees hurt or his gout was bothering him, and so he was kind of coming in and out the clinic, just having me work on him, my therapist working on him. But he was telling me that he was sharing my videos to his friends, but his friends were like not walking. His friends were becoming more debilitated. His friends were having like knee issues or like not being able to move around as well as he was, right? So he's kind of bragging like, I'm more mobile than my friends. Meanwhile, my in-laws are falling every other day. And then we had to, they had to have surgery, like the works, right? So, what is more OT than helping someone be and stay more independent, right? Like, so I decided to, for using my personal experience, and I think that when you use your personal experience, that might help you to gain more trust because you're like actually going through this. I am literally going through this myself, and it makes me think about who I want to be when I get older, right? So my in-laws, I can't do anything to necessarily help them now. The damage is done. But if they were, and my mother-in-law made a really interesting comment, kind of to the effects of, if she only knew then. Bitch, you knew, you just didn't do anything about it, right? So if only you knew. Well, if only you knew these things, would you do them, right? So I decided to do a series all on how to prevent, so how to keep my parents out of the nursing home. So I took this idea and I used AI. I was like, this is my idea. I gave them like the idea of like, how do I keep my parents out of the nursing home? So it wasn't that they didn't really like, AI didn't really change it, but just spruced it up a little bit. And then I created, so I had created 5 titles for lower extremity and 5 titles for upper extremity. But at the end of the day, AI can only help you if you input the ideas that you have, and then it can help you to come up with the titles that would be catchy and things like that. But I already knew what I was going to talk about. So number one, you have to have that overarching idea. So if you think about it, I had this big overarching idea, right? So independence. I want to keep my 80-year-olds. I want to help 80-year-olds stay independent. Now, here's the thing with that, right? So my parents are in their 80s and they love going on YouTube. Right? They love the shit out of YouTube. So imagine there's a lot of people on YouTube just looking for free information, and that's fine. They're from all over the world. You're gonna get people from all over the world, right? But guess what? People in their 80s have kids in their 50s, 60s, 40s. It just depends on when they had it. So I'm approaching my 50s. My parents are turning almost 80. So I'm now catching this demographic and this demographic, right, of people. And so I want to help them stay independent and stay out the nursing home. So how do we do that, right? So I broke it up into two major topics in terms of, just keeping someone independent. So you have upper extremity and you have lower extremity. It's like, weren't we all divided like this shit? Like, OTs did upper and PTs did lower. But I now run my own business. I do whatever the fuck I want. I do whatever I want, right? You do whatever you want. So how do you keep someone independent? Well, they have to stay mobile, right? So mobility. So depending on what area of OT you focus on, you can create your version of this. This is my version. I see a lot of people with low back issues. I see people with knee issues. These are things that my father has. Ankles, balance, right? So I picked very particular topics to talk about because in order for you to stay in your home, you have to be more mobile, right? You want to keep your original parts. You don't want total knee replacement, do you? You don't want surgeries. You don't want a total knee. You want to try to keep your original body parts. At least I'm trying to keep my original body parts, and I want to help my parents keep their original body parts. I mean, my mother-in-law was talking about, they were telling her she needed total knee replacements at her age and in her health situation. Total knees would have crippled her even further. Anyway, long story short, she didn't get a total knee because her knee gave out. She fell and she tore her patella tendon. Right, and so sometimes shit happens. And anyway, she lost her mobility. So if you knew what I know, these are some of the things that you would be doing to keep yourself healthy so you don't keep falling and you don't get unnecessary surgery. Like sometimes total knees, bone on bone. I've worked with people with bone on bone and I was able to help them avoid a total knee replacement. Thank goodness, right? Because she was too scared, she didn't really want it. And I was still able to improve her quality of life. Am I changing bone? I'm not changing bone. But I was able to improve her quality of life. Yes. So she can avoid it. Yes. So there's a lot of things that you can do as a therapist. And this is what I talked about. Now, that's mobility, right? In the upper extremity, you need grip strength. So, again, when you're in your 80s, you start losing your grip strength. You can't drive, you can't open things, you can't wipe your butt, you can't, there's a lot of things when it comes to being able to be independent, which is you have to be able to open containers and prepare your food. Little things like that. In order to be able to do that, you have to get dressed, you have to be able to reach over your head, you have to be able to get into the garage door, your refrigerator door. It requires grip strength, it requires your shoulder to move. It requires your neck to move. The nerves come out of your neck, down the arms, and so if your neck doesn't move, then you lose a lot of power in your hands, your elbows, your wrists, all those things. You have to be able to put weight through your wrist in order to be able to push yourself out of bed, right? And so think about all that. So I took that big overarching idea and concept and I turned it into about 10 videos. So I did 5 videos for the lower extremity and 5 videos for the upper extremity. Now I just recently did this, so truth be told, when you do educational marketing, it's not so much that you're going to get people knocking down your doors right away. It's just that they're going to slowly trickle in over a period of time. Now, how do I know this? Is because I did a series on finger fractures. I did a series on flexor tendons. Like, think about it in series. You can do one-off stuff, but I'm starting to think a little bit more of series of things that I can educate people on. I can't tell everyone exactly what to do, but I sure can help educate them on how to think about their injury, to learn about their injury, to think about more things than what they currently know, because Google only gives you a certain amount of information. Everything generally can be very generic in nature. So one of the things that I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to dive in a little bit deeper. I'm getting a little bit more specific with things. And at the end of the day, what that does is it sets me up as an expert, right? So I know some stuff about lower extremity. I work with the spine quite a bit. I work with the arms all the time. And so you need both in order to stay independent. And the people that I'm speaking to is someone like myself. I am in my 50, like I'm almost 50, and my parents are aging. And the problem is right now that we're having is that I am in a what they call sandwich generation. I still have kids that I have to take care of, and now I have adult parents that I'm now required to take care of or worry about as well. So how do I help them to stay more independent? So who knows at what point somebody can watch these videos? Someone in their 60s, 70s, 80s can be watching this, and they're going to do some stuff. But you know who I'm going to also catch? People of my age range. We in our 40s, 50s need to make different decisions than we did in our 20s and 30s, because we want to show up in our lives in our 60s, 70s, and 80s a certain way. I want to be independent. I want to live independently. I want to be able to travel. I'm not waiting until I'm retired to travel. I'm traveling now, and I don't want to be in pain. I want to be in my 70s and look forward to grandkids. Hopefully, if my children get married and do the whole thing, right? If I have it. If I don't have grandkids, then maybe other people in my family, like my nieces and nephews and my friends' kids, maybe they'll have kids, and I'll be able to travel and to see them, hold their babies, get on and off the floor to play with them. So I'm thinking about my life in its future format. And so I'm creating some content to educate people no matter when they find me, these two pockets of people. So that's what I'm doing for my clinic. That's what I'm doing to educate people, not just in my community. So I'm using, when I create content, so I create it for my clinic, just like I'm creating this for you, like that I'm educating you on what you could do. And at some point, if you trust me and you need my services, my link's going to be below. Like, how can I help you to think through what your business plans are, think through how can you focus down on getting the right kind of people. So I do the same thing for my clinic. So I'm thinking about who I want to serve, who wants my services at the premium pricing that I'm currently at. I'm located in a certain location, and so I can share out this, like, so everyone gets the benefit of the information that I provide. There's a small percentage of people who are going to need me and who are going to want my help, and that's exactly who I'm creating it for. So a small percentage of people who are going to watch the video and they're going to be like, oh my god, Huang knows what she's talking about. You know, I'm going into perimenopause and my hands are weak. Like, why is that? There's so much. I love doing I almost was going to stop doing these business videos, but I get so much out of them. I don't know if you're getting it out, but you can leave me a comment if you get anything out. But I am certainly getting something out of these videos that I'm making. I'm going to do a new series. Let me write that down. I have an idea right now for a new series that I'm going to do for my patient, on grip strength, perimenopause and grip strength. All right. So what happens to us? We're in our 50s, we're going through perimenopause. Some people are already in the menopause. Like, how do we stay strong? Like, I'm going to talk about that. Well, thank you very much for giving me this idea. So I know what my next series is going to be. I actually already had another series. I'm happy to share with you, but I live in Miami. There is a huge amount of plastic surgery that goes on, and truth be told, my manager won't mind sharing because she's been sharing it. But she had plastic surgery, and we know the trials and tribulations of that. So I have a series I'm going to be doing for that as well. So like, get these ideas like in your life, common questions that people are asking you. They ask you all the freaking time. I have a series on trigger finger that people ask all the freaking time. So from the questions that you have, go to AI, get some of the titles. I get titles from other, watching other creators as well. It's not that I'm stealing it, it's just that it gives you ideas, right? I mean, hopefully you're just using this video to get ideas. I'm using this video, it's giving me new ideas. And then create a whole series around it. It doesn't have to be like as many videos, it just depends on what you want to do. But I created about 10 videos just from this idea alone, and I have so many more ideas from this one video, like this one series I can like branch off of, like the one I just thought of right now, talking about perimenopause. Perimenopause and grip strength. Let me turn you on. I was listening to Amy Poehler. She's got the Good Hang with Amy Poehler. So that's what brought this up. Like, she was talking to a couple of, she was talking to Leanne Morgan. So Leanne Morgan is a comedian. She's freaking hilarious, from the South. Anyway, they were talking about grip strength and perimenopause. She's like, I lost my grip strength once I hit perimenopause. And so in talking to you, that's where this idea came out. So I'll be putting out some videos on that for my therapy clinic as well. So think about what you need for your perfect clients, for your perfect patients, and think about how you could educate them, and share what you know, because it doesn't matter how much you share. The right people are going to find you, and they're going to come, and they're going to want to work with you. So don't be scared about sharing what you know. Anyway, if this has helped you at all, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm kind of curious, because it definitely helps me. And though I was thinking about ending it, I think I might continue. So your words of encouragement are needed at this time. All right, thanks. I'll see you next time.